I find the Irish position on this just appalling, Sophie. But I mentioned that their history as having to fight off the British is the reason they have it. But there you have the president, and as you say, largely ceremonial, but still the head of state of that country saying that Israel is a terrorist state.
Pretty remarkable comments there, Chris. But look, this is what happens in elections. And Ireland, the Irish voters have gotten behind her. Obviously, many people endorse her views in Ireland.
Yep.
And this has resulted in her receiving this resounding win. So that's democracy for you, Chris.
It sure is. It sure is. Let's skip across the channel to France now, and a couple of arrests after that brazen heist at the Louvre.
Well, wasn't this one to watch, Chris? I mean, this amazing break-in into the Louvre. Well, now there's been 2 people arrested. Little details have been given about those alleged perpetrators that have been arrested. But this has been a phenomenal story that's captured the world, given that millions and millions of dollars worth of very precious jewels were stolen from the Louvre during opening hours and seem to be done quite easily and within a matter of minutes. So we don't have a lot of information about the alleged perpetrators, but there is still believed to be others involved that are on the run, and they were captured at the airport in France, arrested there. So watch this space, because the whole world is watching onto this, Chris, because the hope is that these stolen jewels will be returned. Yeah,
exactly. Let's see if they can. It's one thing to make the arrest, but yeah, where's the rest of them, and where are the jewels is the big question. Let's bring it back to the UK. A couple of issues I'm really keen to get your assessment on. One is Sam Kerr, the Aussie soccer star. She's been back on the pitch for the Matildas, and talking about her perhaps resuming the captaincy. She's got a bit of a character reference from the new coach.
She has indeed, Chris. Look, I was in Cardiff on the weekend for the friendly against Wales, where Sam Kerr made her return for the Matildas. The coach who's been installed in June, Joe Montemuro, he endorsed her and said she was a great role model for young women. Now, we must not forget that Sam Kerr had that high-profile court case where she was charged with aggravated racial harassment but found not guilty in a London court after she called a British police officer effing stupid and white. Now, we were told at this media press conference we were not to ask any questions related at all to this court matter. It was quite extraordinary. And then at a post-match press conference on Saturday, no players were put up, and we were told it was due to security reasons, which was just extraordinary as well, Chris. They seem to be absolutely in damage control, the Matildas. They are trying to control the narrative and stamp out this story because they do not want it back in the headlines.
Yeah, hard to do. You can't really call her a role model after that incident, and they've got to confront her, right? They want her to play on, but yeah, they just need to confront it, to say what you need to about it, and then move on. Now, I want to get you to describe this story to us as well, because we know about all the controversies and protests when it comes to asylum seekers and illegal immigrants in the UK. But there's one in particular, a notorious man who's been convicted of sex offences, and he was accidentally released from prison. How can they allow an asylum seeker who's convicted of sex offences out of jail accidentally?
Chris, this is just mind-boggling. The fact that one of the highest profile asylum seekers who arrived here illegally in the UK, he was arrested, charged and found guilty of assaulting a young teenage girl in Britain. He has been released from prison, given some money, given about 75 quid, and sent on his merry way. And he's caught a train to London. He's been at a library, he's been shopping, he's changed out of his prison attire. And it was only because this drew such enormous attention here in the media that a punter, a member of the public, saw him walking through Finsbury Park in North London and rang the police and said, "Hey, I think we've found your man." I mean, this was a massive manhunt that was on, the Britain was captured captured by, and this is what's happened. So this, again, is embarrassing for the British government.
Absolutely. Jeepers, aren't they on the back foot? Thanks for joining us again, Sophie. We'll catch you next week. Sophie Elsworth there all over it in the UK and Europe for us as ever.